Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow.
Take the message, everybody.
Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better
This
take
is Attorney
warning.
Sheldon Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wignam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
That is correct. If they have to lose by one vote, it will be by data. One vote, and it will be by data. That is why you guys have to, all of you who are watching this program right now, and you have relatives back in Guyana, urge them to go and get registered. You don't want to wait for the last minute and then jump up or jump out of wherever y'all jumping out from, and to complain, oh, my name in there on the list, and they say I am registered. You guys know how important it is, right? So do not be complacent. Go out, check your identification cards, ensure that your name is on the list and that you are registered to vote. All of you guys in that house, right there, I'm talking to you guys right now, sitting, those of you sitting in that couch. You know, usually they get a couch that during the day I'll throw a sheet over it, cover it up nicely, and you can't sit on that couch. We all had those days. You can't sit on that. But in the nights now, you take off the sheets and people could sit down and so forth on it. A couple of you are doing that right now, watching this show via your television set. Look at each other and say, we gonna do it. Oops, gosh. Reminds me of when I was in church. Turn to your neighbor and say, man, I used to vex my neighbor. Turn to your neighbor and say, I love you. You do turn to your neighbor, the next thing you know, you see, look at your family members and say, we're going to do it. We're going to get registered. We're going to go down to GCOM. We're going to ensure that our names are on the list. And those of you who are qualified to vote for the first time, if you haven't registered to vote, or if you haven't registered and gotten to get an ID card, do it. Don't wait until the last minute and then call up here or put on the lane to call, or all of you, I'm going to be seeing some of you in the comment section. You know, like that big mouth one, Francine. Not Francine. They get a few Francine here. Francine Neblet, not you. But there's usually a loudmouth one from the nursing home in Long Island. Francine. Always blah, blah, blah. And I hope Francine is registered to vote and would go back home to Guyana to vote. Don't just book your tickets You know, I guess some of you love to book a ticket and then go back to Guyana and you see all of the fish shop and you go to the all-white boat ride and you bubble up to them old-time reggae and you dance up with a Guinness in your hand. All who never learn to dance. And then you get to jump and spread out and jump and spread out and stop. And then next thing you know, the DJ said, right, Admiral Bailey, jump up, jump up. Guess what y'all got to do? Get out. Get out of that mode. That jump up. Right, Tony? Jump up, 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 up. Right? Get out of that mode, guys. These are some serious times. I'm not saying that you can't do a little, you know, dancing up Sharon, a gal where you know, Sharon yourself down to GCOM and ensure that you are registered to vote. Just ensure that you are registered to vote. Because if you don't do that, come next elections time, don't call me, don't tell me nothing. Because if you call me and you're about to tell me anything, you guys think I want to do this for the rest of my life, sit down here? Y'all don't go out there and register to vote. Don't call me if things don't go right, because I can play a tune for y'all called Who Never, or some Luna Be from Money and Rungawola Fresh. Right? That's what I'm going to tell you guys. Go Wola Fresh. But guys, you've got to make this thing happen. And you've got to be proactive. You can't wait until the last minute and then ask questions. You know what to do. I didn't know where I had to go. You know where Western Union been, though? Well, all of us back in Guyana know where Western Union is. What is it? Western Union, MoneyGram, and so forth. And back in the days was National Pride, right? National Pride line used to be long. Western Union line long as well. But make GCOM line long too now. Y'all go and get registered now. Take your relatives, take your friends, take those who are in the communities, the villages, carry them down. Let them register to vote. The other thing is, if you know, because they got a lot of folks who are no longer on earth, they're gone, they've died, but their names are still on the list. If you notice that folks who have died and their names are still on the list, bring it to your party's attention, your representatives. Bring it to their attention. Don't wait until the last minute and then start crying and complain. Don't do it. Because if you guys do that, cat eat y'all dinner. And when I say cat, I mean like super cat. You know, I mean like cat eat y'all dinner. It's done. It's done with. We already see that nothing is coming your way in terms of oil revenues. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the little crumbs that you guys are getting, you know, Tanti Moore loves to show papers and talk that paper and that paper and like this. Well, look, let me give you guys an example. You see this? This is a piece of gum. Let me show you guys. This is a piece of gum. See this gum here? This is equivalent to the oil wealth in Guyana. You know what Guyana is getting? This is what Guyanese is getting. This is what is going. This is what Guyanese is getting. You see, you can't even see what you're getting. You cannot even see what you're getting. You cannot even see your way. From the billions upon billions of oil wealth, everybody getting a piece off of Guyana. Like Gully Bob said, everybody want to walk off, right? Right now, everybody want to walk off of Guyana. Everybody want to walk off of Guyana. This body want to walk off a guy. And then when they're grabbing, they're taking everything. And they're just little crumbs. And they call it local contents. They go by little Polari, local content. They go by Tony Hawk and Rockwell and Roderick and these people, local content. Dog food, local content. And this is what you're getting. Take a look. This is what you're getting. This is what you're getting. Leave that there. Eat it later. This is what the PPP and those parasites are getting. They're taking whatever crumbs you guys are getting to, and they're grabbing it and give you that little piece. And the other guys, them carrying away all of this. They're shipping it out. They're flying luxury business class at the expense of you, the ordinary people, the ordinary citizens. This is not now we're talking about it, but we see Glenn Lal and others, they're talking about it now. And they're obsessed about just that. But these are things that we've been telling you guys for a while now. And we like to be rounded, not just one mind, one set, just about oil. Lots of other things that are so wrong in Guyana. Not wronged, that are so wrong. Only God knows. Good evening to all of you, and welcome to Straight Up. Last night, I didn't say much because Lincoln Lewis was on. Lincoln said much, and it's okay. We took the back seat. He said a lot of good things. But let's go on here this evening. First of all, look at the hypocrisy. McCoy, Kwame McCoy, who was caught on a tape soliciting sex, yes, sex, from an underage schoolboy. You sure you love me? You love me? Yes, I am. You love me? I thought you said you're going to give me the thing, and you didn't give me the thing, and you give me the right? And this is a guy who is supposedly the minister responsible for information. Look, the headline says, McCoy unveils, what? Unveils moves to centralize information flow. This is the Crapo and others that got all sort of sites and fake pages. And oh gosh, you wouldn't even want to see and hear the things that they talk about people. That is what they do. Millions of taxpayers' money they use. And they are a stone throw away from Irfan Ali's office at the office of the president. Jagdeer's office, they sit down, and these guys, these lunatics, this one CXC, one subject guy, nothing else, has absolutely nothing else. Criminal. By the way, you guys know that he was convicted, right? He's a criminal. He's a convict. So when Jagdeer likes to call other people convict, Jagdeer must look around. You get this guy, McCoy, a convict, a deportee. And this is not to knock at the brothers and sisters who have been sent back for whatever reason. But this guy, McCoy, was sent back from one of those small islands for soliciting, you know what? Gone there with prostitution business and all manner of things. And he got dipped, he got sent back. So Jagdeer loves to call me, oh, this criminal, this person is a criminal. Nobody, and look who's on the Jagdeer, a back of criminals. And Jagdeer himself is not far off from that. A bunch of criminals running the government right now in Guyana. How do you guys expect? Rastaman, you know what's going on. Hey, Julius, you say that you love me. And then these are the people talking about information and centralized this and that. A pack of vagabonds, a pack of criminals. The U.S. revoked his visa because of that tape that they heard where he was caught soliciting sex, sex, from a little schoolboy. You think these guys got any shame? Oh, man. And these are the people in parliament? In parliament? You guys tell me who say parliament? In parliament. You know, a pack of vagabonds. Now look at this guy here. Look at that. How many of them? Pakus. Teixeira, Paku. Mark Phillips. Well, God in heaven knows what he looked like there. What he looked like there, I ain't even want to say it. Honestly, I ain't want to say it at all. I'm going to allow you all to say what this one Mark Phillips looked like. And this other one, look what he looked like, a overgrown crapo. And then look the criminal, Sue Friend. And then look the Foreign Affairs Minister, Utah. You think Utah get time with them? I sure Utah sending somebody a text there. You love me, baby? I love you too. These are the people who run in Guyana. These are the vagabonds. Look, Chimney. Look at Chimney. Mark Phillips sailing. I bet if you ask him to spell Venezuela, he can't even spell Venezuela. Friends, these are the, Miss Booker, please. I wouldn't even insult apes. I wouldn't even say, you see, all y'all saying that the man look like an ape, the man look like a gorilla. But I bet if an Indian person says so about y'all gonna get vexed, y'all gonna say racism and all kind of thing. I should have never tell y'all for saying in the audience. I ain't tell y'all nothing, I ain't tell y'all what to say, but you see what y'all saying, right? Y'all calling the man all kind of thing, but that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. You look like cow. All right, hey, if you're now joining us, hey, guess what? My name is Mark Benshap. Welcome to Straight Up on 107.1 FM. What else we can talk about as we crank the engine up, so to speak? As we crank up the engine. We don't take cranking, you know. This is one program. This is one show. Mr. Caesar going to sit down here tonight and allow me to speak. Last night, Lincoln Lewis spoke for 45 minutes. Nobody said anything. So y'all don't tell me anything tonight. Let me speak. Wayne is going to sit there and listen to me all night. Now, I don't take cranking. So when Jack there crank up, he likes to crank people up. Nobody takes cranking here. So we're not going to be cranked up by Jack there. Mr. Caesar, good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Mark. And good evening to all our listeners and viewers.
That's all you get to say tonight.
Okay.
That's all you get to say. Good evening, and that's it. Take a look at this, Wayne. And all of our listeners, too. Good to see you, my friend. This guy, Denny got charged. They grabbed this guy, whoever Anthony Denny is, also known as Ansman. This wicked bad. Ants, but he does look like an ants for Trudeau, you know. Them cab. But Ansman now, Anthony, 8 grams. They arrested this man for 8 grams of marijuana. 8 grams of marijuana. Look at New York City. I think it's double that amount, and nothing happens. The police pull you over and you get to go. But in Guyana, they're charging these people. But look at the amount. And when the PPP was campaigning, they met with a couple of Rasta men. Couple of the Rasta men, them, and they said to the Rasta, guess what? They're going to legalize certain amount of marijuana, and they're going to decriminalize it and all manner of things. Well, guess what, Miss Bess, Alicock and Randolph and Allison and Gulliver and Cummings and all of you guys, guess what? They have sent more people to prison since they have gotten into office for marijuana, small amount of marijuana than the coalition did for 5 years they've been in office. Another broken promise. They're disrespecting the people of Guyana. 8 grams of marijuana, but come elections time, you're gonna see all these broken promises. You're gonna see what they're gonna do. Wayne Caesar, 8 grams of marijuana they're jailing this brother for. Over to you, sir.
Well, Mark, where is this guy? What's his name again? Leon Saul. He should be helping this guy out right here, right? Because he was hand in hand with the PPPC. Now look what's happening. Look what's happening to this gentleman here, Mark, for 8 grams of marijuana. Now look, listen, I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying 8 grams when we have boatloads upon boatloads of cocaine leaving Guyana, and you're targeting this man for 8 grams of marijuana. Come on, Mark, you slap him with a $2,000-$3,000 fine and let him walk, but you're gonna charge him? Is the DPP is gonna be the one to look at the file and institute charges against this man? Come on, Mark. This here is not making any sense at all right here. This is persecution at its highest level. And if we continue like this, Mark, about 80% of African Guyanese is going to have a criminal record when it's all done and finished with, man. This is not right. It doesn't look right. It doesn't smell right. Come on. You got Jack Dio who was caught on video, Vice video, in corruption, Mark, and he's allowed to walk. You got Jack Dio in a video trying to give away part of our maritime to Venezuela, and he's not charged with treason. He's allowed to walk. And you got a man here with 8 grams of marijuana. You talking about what? Come on, Mark. Come on. It's not just the PPPC is taking advantage of the everyday regular Guyanese. I got to put this in 2 ways here. The Guyanese people are also allowing the PPPC to take advantage of them. That's my position there. We got to stop it, Mark. We got to stop these people. We got to stop it. We got to stand up to this. We just seen our brothers and sisters continue to fall by the side and everybody just walking past. Don't walk past. Your turn is coming. Your turn is coming. Mark, I was watching a short video there in Albistown. The installed president doing a walk around. And it's sort of crowd of people around him. And I said this from the get-go, that this installed regime, Mark, is going to oppress people to the point where some are going to start dropping to their knees to them, and this shouldn't happen. You don't elect people to oppress you, Mark. You cannot elect people to oppress you. Okay? We have a framework of democracy in Guyana, and it needs to start working. And it needs to start working immediately. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. If you're now joining us, I noticed some people yelling out my name in the audience. I can't hear you if you yell me out in the audience. But good evening to all of you. Good points there, Wayne Caesar, and good evening to all our folks on the ground in Guyana who are listening, who are watching. Just be proactive, guys. Don't sleep at the wheels. Just don't do that. The next elections are very important to ensure that you remove this corrupt, this illegal, this racist regime. And in prisons, they have a lot of folks, a lot of young African brothers and sisters. They got a lot of young East Indian brothers and sisters. They got a lot of indigenous brothers and sisters. And who else can talk more about that? I've been there and I understand how the system works. And the system is not in favor of those folks who are the people like Antsman. If they had caught somebody connected to Odinga or maybe Jack Dio or maybe one of those convicts, either Kwame or Abdullah or whatever they call themselves, you think 8 grams would have caused them this? No. One phone call and that's it. People are caught with guns, illegal guns. One phone call and that's it. People are caught with kilos upon kilos of cocaine, pungs upon pungs of marijuana. One phone call and that's it. But this guy has no connection to anybody in power, obviously. He has nobody to call. And so this is what he's placed into custody for 8 grams. 8 grams of marijuana. Could you guys, those who are calling out my name, Mark, just it's annoying. It's annoying. We're all big people, guys. Let's try to be professional. If you keep calling Mark, how am I going to hear you if you type my name, Mark? Let's focus on what the subject matter is right now, guys. Okay? Thank you. So back to Antsman. He was arrested and escorted to Madhya police station along with the suspected cannabis. I mean, no. Lil thing look put in a little plate. Lil thing put in a plate. Lil thing put in a plate. I don't know, Miss Bess, you're correct. It's a lawless country indeed. Mr.
Mark.
Caesar, I have noticed that this guy here now, Wasai, loses 15 days pay, gets warning, 15 days pay. 15 days pay. An ordinary youth man or a young woman, no connection, no nothing, would have been placed before the courts, would have been charged. Soku would have come in and embarrassed them and all. But this guy, because he's connected to these vagabonds in the PPP regime, he had the authority to negotiate $214 million and say to Exxon, recommend that Exxon pays $3 million US, and that's it. You were saying something, Mr. Caesar. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Before I was gonna touch again on the gentleman with the cannabis situation. Now you're gonna
Go ahead.
Yes, you're gonna charge this guy, right? When we have a guy installed as president with 19 fraud charges and a whole lot of fake, you understand me? Educational credentials. You know what I'm saying? So, Mark, listen, there's a definite double standard in Guyana. There's no doubt about it. I understand there's a delegation, quote unquote delegation, going down to Guyana. I don't know what the fact-finding mission is going to be, Mark, but hey.
Whatever that is, it is what it is. 8
All right.
grams of
We'll deal with that later. But
8 grams of marijuana. That's the main issue here. Hundreds of people in prisons right now as a result of this. The PPPC promised this on their elections campaign. They were going to rectify this problem. They are going to decriminalize marijuana, a certain amount. That has not happened, just like they have made promises with so many other stuff. 50,000 jobs, nothing at all. Free education that they took away at the university level, nothing at all. Address the issue of decriminalization of marijuana, certain amount, nothing at all. And the list goes on and on. All they have brought back to Guyana is misery upon misery upon misery. If you look around Georgetown, it is filthy again, just like it was for 20-something years when they were in office. A dirty government run by a bunch of dirty lunatics. Now, touch on this here. This guy just got, 15. He lost 15 days pay. There's nothing. 15 days pay for him is like 2 years pay or 2 years sales from somebody at Stabroek or Border or Port Moran Market. Your take on this here, Mr. Caesar.
Mark, let me be frank. Here's another example of nepotism by the PPPC government here. Number one, I'm going to say this. The guy that you have pictured here is not the guy that would have negotiated the write-off of $211 million in expenses. This is not the guy. This is the guy below that is going to take the fall for what happened. But if he's going to be taking the fall for what happened, this guy should be terminated with immediate effect. You cannot have incompetent people, Mark, dealing with the natural resources of Guyana. We have to remember here, this natural resource, this oil resource that we're talking about, the PPP is acting as if it belongs to them. This patrimony belongs to the Guyanese people, and we need to make this clear. We need to make this clear. People need to start standing up for their rights and understanding that these things belongs to them. And also, Guyana belongs to them. Now, this guy have no right being in a negotiation position when it comes to something of this, a transaction of this magnitude. Okay? And we should be doing proper reporting. Again, Exxon, I call on them as you work in Guyana and as you do your audits, you have your audits done to do clean work, man. Do clean work. You already have a lopsided deal in your favor. You cannot take everything. And that's the problem, Mark. And that is what's been happening across the world with all the countries. So these guys are not, this guy that's on screen here, I would even like to see his credential. I would like to see his qualifications when it comes to dealing with oil and gas. Because a lot of these people is just placed here based on nepotism. We need to have people with expertise, Mark. We need to have better measures of what is being extracted on a daily basis. We are not getting that. Okay? There's a lot that is missing here, Mark. You think that it's just the deal that's lopsided? We are losing way more because we cannot get a measure, Mark, on how many barrels of oil is pulled, extracted per day. We do not have an accurate measure. We don't have somebody there that's doing a measure for us. So any audit that is done, Mark, it's being done by an estimate. And that is not right. We need actual figures. Over to you, sir.
You know, this guy definitely, he is part and parcel of whatever it is that happened. It's a conspiracy to obviously defraud the Guyanese people. And what this guy got was just 15 days of his pay, which is a slap on the wrist. And we don't know, mind you, what's the contract, the employment contract this guy has, because at the end of the day, he's being paid handsomely with taxpayers' money. And what are his qualifications, as you mentioned earlier? However, what is disturbing, though, is when the Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs, Roysdale Ford, attempted to get the information pertaining to this guy's employment and the contract that he has. It was immediately shut down by the leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, who said that the party distances itself from that and they're not concerned about this guy's contract. Of course, anybody should be concerned, including Mr. Aubrey Norton, should be concerned about this guy's contract. We want to see the contract, the employment contract. We want to see how much he's being paid. We want to see his qualifications. We want to see what qualified him to sit and to render such a decision or to make such a recommendation. We want to see it. And as of now, because of that idea, that request from Roysdale Ford was shot down by Aubrey Norton. We don't know anything about this. And so Jack Geo, they felt comfortable. Irfan, they felt comfortable to return now and to say they're going to slap him at 15 days pay, and that's it. And it's all done. It's covered up. But the question, though, is what's happened? What has happened with the money? Let me just give our folks probably a little hint. Don't think for a moment that 211 million US dollars is just going to disappear like that. The money is going to split. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mercury, you guys remember Mercury? Mercury got to be paid. I wouldn't be surprised if Mercury got a big chunk of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of that goes towards the Republican Party as donation for the 2024 presidential elections campaign in the U.S. The money has gone somewhere. Obviously, it has gone somewhere, not just in the pockets of Barra Jagdeo and Irfan Ali and some other crooks there, but it's going somewhere, maybe to assist with campaigning the Republicans. Who knows? Maybe Mercury got a big chunk out of that. Who knows? That's why we got to follow the trail. What has happened with the money? You're the public accountant, Mr. Caesar. I'm just the former prisoner. Over to you, sir. Where is the money?
Well, Mark, that would call for some measure of forensic accounting to be executed to find out exactly where the monies would have went. But I feel like if you're onto something, and while you're onto that thing, I call on the PPP supporters. I gotta highlight them tonight here, Mark, because this you just kicked down a door for me to highlight them tonight. You guys, the sugar workers, amongst others, you guys, instead of you guys getting money and your colleagues, the people who actually vote for the opposition getting money, Guyanese on a whole, money coming into your hands, money is going out to pay a lobbyist firm to keep the PPPC in power. Could you guys believe that? Money is leaving the shores of Guyana, going offshore to the United States to pay Mercury when Exxon and all the other oil companies already have deals that is lopsided in their favor. And still, come 2025, you guys are going to go out and do what? Come on, guys. You need to really start thinking here. You really, really need to start thinking not just about yourself, about your family, about the future of Guyana with what's transpiring under this installed regime. Mark, I cannot call this a government. These guys are not politicians. And I question many people who call themselves politicians today because they're not there to serve the people. They are self-serving. They have no appetite for people. They have no love for people. You got to love people. You got to have an appetite to serve. You got to understand that the people are your bosses before you could actually go there and execute such a mandate, Mark. We don't have people, well, the people that are in place now, you understand me? It's not the right people. We need to get this right. And from a forensic perspective, Mark, we need to track that money to get a good understanding as to where that money went. And listen, if Exxon can't give answers, then Exxon has to replenish that money, because that money needs to be in the treasury somewhere, or if they're going to put it in the natural resource fund, wherever it's going to go, Mark, wherever it's going to go. Listen, you kicked down a door here, man, so I'm going to elaborate, man. Listen, we have so many oil wells out there that is being drilled right now, and oil is being executed. And I was one of the people who called for at least the revenues that coming in from two of those wells to be allocated and called Guyana now, where those revenues are actually coming into the country to help our people. Guyanese need help now. This nonsense that Barry Jagdeo come out with, oil money is not going to hit you guys. It may never hit you guys. Are you crazy? Are you nuts to be in people country, drilling for oil, making billions of dollars, and the people are not gaining what? You're changing up the whole ecosystem in Guyana. Guyana is feeling warmer. Farmers are losing. Fishermen are losing. And you talking about what? Come on, Mark. The people in Guyana need to wake up and understand what's happening here and understand their rights. This isn't about me asking people to go there and protest. I'm asking people to simply stand up for their rights and understand their rights. Over to you, sir.
I want to say good evening to Detective Sergeant Bascom, who's watching the show. Many of you would remember Detective Bascom went out there and he exposed the Guyana police force in terms of corruption and cover-ups and so forth. And what happened? Instead of the culprits being arrested and brought before the courts, or maybe questioned as to whether they were involved in the murder of Fagundes. But no, because of folks like Azruddin Mohammed, who prides himself as some sort of good guy who's out there handing out stuff, and we already know what's going on there. But this guy was instead slapped with several charges. He's watching us this evening, and we are watching you too, Mr. Bascom, to ensure that they don't do what they planned a long time ago to do to you. We're glad that you're still alive and you are well. Now let's head back to this here. Exxon finds more oil at Lancet Fish 2. More oil. More oil doesn't mean anything positive for Guyanese people. More oil means positive things for Exxon, the executives, and others who are shipped into Guyana to make the millions, hundreds upon hundreds of millions. And nothing, unfortunately, nothing is really for the Guyanese people. Absolutely nothing. So every time we see this here, oil, find more oil, it's nothing in place for us. Absolutely nothing. It's just a few who are within a circle. And when you see certain business people getting involved in this stuff, there's always a middleman. Jack Deere has his hands in almost everything, all level of corruption. Jack Deere has his hands in every single thing. And that is so bad. It is so unfortunate. Now let's get back here, Mr. Caesar, to this guy to show an example. 8 grams. 8 grams of marijuana this guy is locked up for. And look at the amount of marijuana here. For those marijuana guys out there and gals and so forth. And those, I heard a story, Wayne, I don't know if you smoke marijuana or whatever. I don't. I've never smoked it. But I heard that guys who roll it up, some of them will steep it and drop the marijuana stuff between their fingers and put it in the pocket. So some of them out there, some know what they're up to. But look at this amount of marijuana. Look at it. And take a look at this here. Look who is holding that. Former New York Police Commissioner William Bratton. Former New York Commissioner of Police William Bratton. Look at the amount that he's holding there. Look what this guy got charged for. And look what they do in New York City. It is now legal for adults 21 and older to possess up to 3 ounces of cannabis, marijuana, and up to 24 grams of concentrated cannabis for personal use in New York. Meanwhile, this poor young man, Ansman, gone to jail for 8 grams. Shame on the PPP regime. I don't know, Mr. Caesar, if you saw this, but I know this has been the trending news for the past 48 hours. Look at this guy. Allegedly, he killed his friend, Mr. Singh. He killed his friend, allegedly. He's still in custody. Others have been in custody for far less. No evidence against others, and they have already been charged. But we're looking at the direction that this case is going to go. Whether the DPP is going to say that there is not sufficient evidence to charge this guy, Yajendra Sukhdeo, for murdering his friend. They found the money, according to the police, $7+ million in his house. And this guy is known. If you see photographs with him, he has his 9s by his waist. He has all his guns. He's like the other coin of Azruddin Mohammed. Azruddin loves to pose with his gun. Y'all didn't say nothing. But this one here, posing with his guns, and y'all get enough things to say. Enough things to say. What is your take on this guy supposed to be the best friend of the guy that he is accused, mind you, accused of killing? High-class robbery. Your take, sir. Over to you.
Mark, I'm going to tell you this. That is what riches and money does. You know, it gets you killed, especially in these type of situations here. Now, I've been hearing through the grapevine that this guy is the nephew of somebody, but somebody important, but I'm waiting for more clarity before I actually go ahead and call the name. I don't want to do it now until I have more clarity. But I don't know what the posture of the DPP will be on this, but from the monies that are being called out and from the character that this guy is, I know that he is aligned with those who are in control of the gold and diamond mining industry in Guyana. He's not a real big man. He's a medium-sized, small man. But nevertheless, he's a man. He's one of them. You know, and I have to wait to see where the DPP goes with this. But again, to the Guyanese people, you see what's going on in Guyana? Come on, you guys could make comparison between when the coalition was in reign and this illegal set of gangsters. You know, this is a cowboy tongue. From what I understand, the guy's throat was slit, man. And Mark, not too long ago, we had the guy walking down Regent Street too with a gold heist that they had where his throat was slit from one side to the other too. So, hey, look, we're dealing with sheer terrorists, man. We're dealing with sheer terrorists in Guyana, man.
Terrorists in the installed.
That's what we're dealing with, Mark.
Terrorists in the installed PPP regime.
Yes.
Let's listen, and we're just going to say that so far, the allegations level against this guy that he robbed and he killed his friend. The allegations are serious allegations, and these are serious times in Guyana. Lots of church boys, but there are also so many mandir boys and mosque boys and so forth and so on in Guyana. Let's take a look at this local terrorist. Listen to what this local terrorist had in mind to do with Guyana, Mr. Caesar, and to all our other listeners. Listen to this local terrorist.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
A slight concession to Venezuela, who right now they're marching. Look where they are. According to intelligence report, look where they are. Look what they're doing. I mean, it's just a bluff. In my opinion, it's a bluff. But I'm glad that the U.S. Embassy, they're heading to Essequibo tomorrow. And now there's a reason why I'm glad that they're heading to Essequibo tomorrow. They're not heading there just to put on uniforms and whatever. They're heading there to do some visa. People who have visa issues. What a perfect choice. The people at the U.S. Embassy in Guyana. Kudos to you guys. Perfect choice. They're going to Venezuela tomorrow. So those of you who have issues with your, maybe to renew your U.S. passport, maybe if you have questions on immigration, the U.S., I know Francine and them going to get angry and all, but Francine, Cruz, and all the others who get angry when they hear the U.S. But the U.S. Embassy, they're going to Essequibo tomorrow. In other words, in a subtle way to show solidarity and to say to hell with Venezuela. But that's just my interpretation. The U.S. Embassy folks are going to going to Essequibo tomorrow. And if you have visa issues, they will be by some library, in Imam Bacchus library. So you guys go out there and get all your visa questions answered right there. But I like that move. I like the U.S. Embassy's move. Go to Essequibo. Mr. Caesar, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Irfan Jagdeo is denying, and we want him to take a lie detector test. Jagdeo is denying that he didn't strike a secret deal with Venezuela. At this meeting, we were told that Maduro, a madman like Jagdeo, reminded Jagdeo of that secret deal that was struck with Hugo Chavez. A secret deal. And at this meeting, Jack Day, was reminded of this. Of course, at his press conference today, he denied it. He loves to, he's fixated on two persons. He's fixated. One, he says, lives in a basement. I know where he said the other one lives. The other one in here where he said he lives. But he's fixated on two men. Well, he's fixated on two persons. But Jagger got to tell the nation about that secret deal. He has to say whether he's willing to take a lie detector test or not. But he is, of course, a big gangster who has been exposed. Mr. Caesar, 20,000+ birth certificates issued to Venezuelan nationals who just got into Guyana. Your take on how dangerous this is for the country, sir?
Mark, it is extremely dangerous to issue birth certificates, okay, to migrants, who are not birthed in Guyana. Okay, that's a violation. That should equal to a violation of our constitution. And it just shows you when you issue birth certificates, that means that you are trying to get these people to vote, because you're telling them right now that they are Guyanese born. Hence, they are eligible to vote come 2025. And this is not right, Mark. This is not right. And I said this before, that the PPPC is trying to change the whole ethnic demographics of Region 4. They are trying to do it here. They know exactly how many votes they need based on the anomalies that we had from 2020. And they will pad that with another 20,000 votes to make sure, that they're going to need to pad it with more than that, because I am sure there is a lot of PPP supporters that will not vote for these gangsters. They just will not vote for them. So, Mark, I still say, although you have all these birth certificates that you're going to issue, it's still an uphill climb for the PPPC to win the election come 2025, although they are the ones with the access to the money. And when we speak, Mark, of Barra Jagdeo and the secret deal that he's said to have made with Maduro, he's not going to tell us what that deal entails, Mark, because if he tells us, it's treason.
Well, of course he wouldn't tell us.
It's treason.
There are secret conversations, audio conversations, and I'm sure that the Venezuelan authorities would want to release that on Jagdeo. Just like Putin has things on Trump, Venezuela has lots and lots of things on Jagdeo. And the Chinese have lots and lots of things on Jagdeo. Lots and lots of corruption. Why you think Jagdeo cannot touch Sue? People have done less than what Sue has said about Jagdeo, which is the truth. And they have either disappeared, they ran away from Guyana, or they are banned, they're in his black book, they don't get contracts, they don't get anything. But look at all what Sue said about Jagdeo. Sue is still in Guyana, he's alive, he's well, and he's still getting contracts worth hundreds of millions of US dollars. He is still getting these things. Why do you think, guys, Sue is still there? Sue is there because, of course, he has a lot of things on Jagdeo, and Jagdeo cannot touch Sue at all, period. And let him dare touch Sue. See that bank account that he has in China? See how quickly it's going to be exposed by the Chinese. He cannot touch Sue. This is why, and we want to remind people, and we just can't be complacent and just say, even if they pad the voters list with 30,000 Venezuelans, which is what they're planning on doing, as we're seeing the evidence coming out more, we just got to be alert at every level to ensure that it doesn't become a reality. And this message here from Antidata is very important to all Guyanese. Listen to this message. Don't ignore what Auntie Data's saying. And don't say that Auntie Data go and vote for them. Don't say. Just listen to Auntie Data and understand where she's coming from, because there are thousands more like Auntie Data.
Yeah, my name is Jessie T. Caldata, Francis C. Wakenham, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
To lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. But quickly, we've got to focus on this. This is the problem right now. This here is another one of those big problems right now.
And you're confident that you're going to deliver credible and fair elections?
Of course. Only one way I know, and that is the correct way. I do not believe in...
All right, Wayne, we're looking at the time a minute after 10 o'clock. Anything else you wish to discuss before we leave?
Yeah, I was looking at a comment there from Vanetta Seymour, concerning Praterville. And yes, the Pleasance, Sparendam people never made any concession to give Praterville to the PPPC. It is ancestral lands that they would have taken and built out. And yes, Mark, I do have something else that I want to say.
Well, before you do that,
I'm going to be brief. I'm going to be brief and straight to the point.
1 second, please. Before you do that, let me remind you and all the people in Plaisance that when Jack Dale was going in there and building his plantation, depriving people in Plaisance, the Sparadam area there, from going and even having access to the seawall, and all these different things. People of Plaisance and those who are saying that it's ancestral lands, and of course it is, did nothing. Did nothing.
Mark, unfortunately, I was not in Guyana. I was already here. I was studying at that time. I wasn't paying too much attention to Guyana at the time. But I must say, the people of Guyana have to take some responsibility for sitting down and allowing a monstrosity like this to grow right under their noses. Yes, that is a monster. He has grown in, Mark. He has grown up to a person who thinks that he owns Guyana, who thinks that he actually owns people, and that's a problem right there. That's a major problem right there. And Mark, my point that I was going to make.
Please.
Listen, we need to have some standards in Guyana. We need to stop this thing where politicians are elected to get rich instead of serving the people. Okay? And I'm going to make a pitch now to this opposition that to the extent that they...
One second.
Go ahead, Mark. You want to stop me?
Make a pitch?
Yes. To this opposition, yes. To the extent...
What opposition?
Mark, there is an opposition.
Oh, okay.
Listen, they may not be executing the way that we want them to,
make your pitch.
But there is an opposition in place.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm not saying that, but I just caught myself.
Okay. I know where you're going, Mark. I know where you're going.
Thank you for reminding me that we do have an opposition. Go ahead.
Yes. I am making a pitch to them that come 2025, they are successful with winning the 2025 election. I would like to lead a team of auditors for free to go out and make an attempt to recapture monies that were stolen from the people of Guyana and return it to them free of charge. This is no charge. Pro bono. This type of behavior need to stop, Mark. These so-called gangsters who want to pose as politicians and just come in and rip off countries and rip off people and watch starvation and just oppress people, it's got to stop. It's got to really stop. And also, Mark, I'm going to say this. We got to watch where our oil monies is going in Guyana. We do not want money leaving the shores of Guyana to go and support terrorism. We have to be very, very careful where our monies are going. I am going to really start getting serious with these people because it calls for serious measures. I'm talking all the time and they're not moving. And we need to see movement. We definitely need to see movement. Over to you, sir.
I noticed Francine Cruz running up her mouth. The usual thing. Nobody don't do this, nobody don't do that. I wish to address Francine Cruz tonight. Nobody don't do this, nobody don't do. Have you guys ever seen Francine Cruz in a protest? Francine Cruz said that in Guyana, when she's there, she protests and she does. Have you ever seen Francine Cruz in a protest, guys? Look, I've known Francine Cruz for a while now. Francine Cruz doesn't protest. Francine Cruz doesn't like mosquito to bite her. When she goes to Guyana, guess where? Francine Cruz sits down at the Marriott, sits down at Pegasus, and all those places. And every single night, Francine Cruz comes on here pomposetting herself. Oh, nobody don't do this, nobody don't do that. You know, I noticed because I said that, and my bumps in raised, the bumps, other people bumps is raised, not my bumps. Bumps. That kudos to the U.S. Embassy for going into Essequibo tomorrow. Francine Cruz bumps raised. She got vexed. I'm suddenly a colonizer, love colonizer. Look, Francine, don't let's give you the donkey tonight, please. Francine, please calm down. Because when you go to Guyana, you're afraid to go out into the streets. You don't want to go out in the streets and all manner of things. Don't let me say, what you text me, I'm afraid I can't go out in the streets. I don't want anybody to hurt me. Wayne, take another shot at your closing remarks, please. And let's just ignore Francine because Francine will get the donkey tonight. How many of you guys think that we should give Francine the donkey? We got to give somebody the donkey tonight. It's either Francine gets it or what. Wayne, take another minute or two. Closing remarks. Over to you again.
Yeah, Mark, thank you
Depends
very
on
much.
what to do with Francine Cruz. Go ahead, sir.
You know, as we move forward here, we know that we have the issue with Venezuela that is going on presently, Mark. And I have a lot of opinions on that situation with the encroachment at the Guyana border. I feel like if, you know, the U.S. would have lifted sanctions against Venezuela and we found more oil, of course, and there were a few more deals that were done. And, you know, Guyana is in the market, is in the stock market big time with a purchase, with Chevron purchasing Hess. But that being said, Mark, we had the talk of a military base being put down in Guyana. And I think this opened the door for a U.S. military base to be put down in Guyana and for it to be acceptable because we are incapable, Mark, of defending ourselves. And the excuse is going to be made that we have a lot of interest in this country. Hence, we need to make sure that our investments in Guyana is protected. These things, you have to really sit down and analyze them to see where they're going. And that's where it's taking me right now. I may be wrong, but I think I am on the right track here. Right. You know, a lot of things Mark has done from a political perspective, and people think, you know, when they get into their war rooms, their high-level rooms, that they're fooling everybody. Well, not everybody can be fooled. Okay, I take my time and I really study these people and I study their strategic moves, and I will not be fooled or I will not be moved. Last but not least, I know a lot of people have called out and say, hey, Mr. Caesar, you know, when are you going to come and be down on the ground in Guyana? Well, here, my voice is needed right now. And once I can be guaranteed protection in Guyana, of course, I'll be in Guyana, down on the ground, and I plan to be there for elections. Listen, I have no fear. You know, there's none of the politicians in Guyana that you know, or any of the goons that guards them, Mark, that intimidates me.
All right.
I'm not intimidated by no one, only the Almighty. So, hey, look, Mark, I'm looking forward to being on the ground in Guyana for the 2025 elections. I think it's needed, you know. I think the
11 minutes
people,
after 10
you know,
o'clock.
need a lot of us on the ground.
Thank you. We are getting the signal that we got to go. We appreciate all of you guys here. We come here and we present to you evidence, we present to you facts, and we leave you with sufficient information. And you guys suss things out, and you're smart enough to suss things out. That is what we do right here on 107.1 FM. We've got to go. We'll be back. And there will be a rebroadcast of this tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday night, probably may have an open line so that give you guys an opportunity to say a few words. But for now, we just bid you goodbye until later. God bless you, and God bless that beautiful country. Hopefully it will be wrestled out of the hands of the wicked demonic forces at Freedom House and those at the Office of the President and in other agencies. Thank you so much, Mr. Wayne Caesar. Appreciate it.
Good night, Mark. Good night, everyone.
All right, guys. And I know we've been asking in terms of giving the award, but we want to give this award for this guy who did a secret deal. We were told, mind you. And if he's denying it, let him take a lie detector test. He's denying it. Let him take a lie detector test. He's got to take a lie detector test. It is hurting him because this is what this vagabond Jack Deere said about giving up piece of Essequibo.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Guy giving a slight concession of a land that doesn't belong to him. Nothing. He's giving a slight concession. Let him go to Venezuela right now and give a slight concession of whatever he has to give out, something he's accustomed to giving out. Go there at the border and give that slight concession. Might be a good thing for Guyana. And so Barra Jagdeo gets the award for tonight.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area. You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
All right, guys, that's it. Slight concession. The man's name is Concession right now. Concession, that's his new name. Slight concession. Slight concession. He believes that he owns Guyana. That is how people allow him to believe. A slight concession. Slight concession. Anyways, there's nothing he could do. And it's a pity that Aubrey Norton and his team. Kudos to the strongest on that team, Ronald Austin, Sr., for being there. And I know that he guided those who are inexperienced, all of them, including Jack Dale, Slight Concession Jack Dale, and those other Nimakarams on the installed PPP regime's side. But for now, my name is Mark Benchap. See you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. God bless you.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis C. Wakenham, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man.
Ellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.